Is this the one we're using, or this? Does it matter?
You can use either.
Is this working? Is this thing on? Are we live? Jason, come here. Matt. Get Bob out here in a second.
Talk into it?
We good?
Yeah, keep talking.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. Does it sound all right?
Yeah. Are we live right now? We're on. Awesome. What movement are you hoping shows up, and what one are you hoping that doesn't show up?
I would love anything gymnastics, so muscle ups, chest bars.
Would you prefer bar to ring?
Right now, I probably prefer bar if it's a large quantity. If it's a smaller quantity, I prefer ring. And then no thrusters.
And how old are you?
I'm 43 years old.
Just had a new baby. Yeah.
Thank you. I added Maggie. I got Mia and Maggie at home, who I had to, this is usually my bedtime. So keeping me being up this late is we'll see.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I got it in me, but I'm not as much a night owl as I used to be. So.
Jason, what movements are you hoping show up, and which ones are you hoping don't?
Nothing heavy barbell. Again, that's not me. But same thing as him, gymnastics. I prefer bar to ring, muscle ups, but either one will be fine.
We got Bob Jennings. I don't know. I don't know if you noticed, but Bob went to the game. So, Bob, what are you hoping shows up, and what, like, if you had to pick a movement you hope doesn't show up?
Yeah, I'd like to see overhead squats. I'd like to see ring muscle ups for sure. Always love to see ring muscle ups. Doesn't show up. I don't want to see double presses. I think it's a dumb movement. Especially throw it in competition. I think it's just dangerous. So, that's what I'm looking forward to. Hopefully, a nice long chipper.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, we've got a couple minutes before, so you guys get warmed up, and then we'll get ready to set up.
not doing scales. You're in. You're in it. You're doing it.
You can do everything but the. I mean, that's actually super cool because you wouldn't have to scale this. You could just. I mean, one of the cool things is everybody, as long as you can row and do a wall ball, you technically don't have to scale this, right?
No, you technically don't. Do we have a time cap on said workout?
20 minutes.
20 minutes on the workout.
Which is, I mean, like you talk. This is kind of crazy. This is 3 workouts.
You know,
At
it really
least
is.
with
In 20 minutes. You know, I can almost foresee some people that might not be proficient at muscle ups saving those to the end to try to max out their reps, you know?
Man, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I think that would be a really bad strategy.
So if muscle ups are not your strong suit, how would you attack this workout then?
I would do at least a couple at a time. Like, so even if you can only do singles,
Do some singles up
I
front.
would do between, depending on how proficient, 1 to 5, because you want to split that up between the work that you're going to have otherwise.
Yeah.
you know?
I mean, I don't know. For me, I'm a decent rower. I'm a decent wall baller. I'm going to try to make all my money there and just survive on the muscle ups in sets of 5. I don't know. It's an interesting workout.
Maybe, you go 5 muscle ups, 15 wall balls and 10
Yeah.
calories. And try
Oh,
to
you got to go
split
for a
that
few
up.
more calories than that. You know, you got that transition time
Because
getting
we're
in and
gonna
out of the
have to-
rower.
we're gonna have to look. Does it just carry over? It's 80 straight calories. If you
Maybe.
get off, do you have to reset? I mean, we're gonna have to check the rule book there because
Yeah.
even if you row 10 calories, you're probably gonna end up with 12.
Yeah,
by the time
that's
you get-
true.
Or if you row 15,
That's true. I think this is going to be a test of knowledge of how well you know your body, how well you know your fitness, and then how you break up the reps.
it's all about don't redline. Because
No.
If you get to the point, the only good thing in that is if you say you're gonna go for a big set of muscle ups and you fail your last one, you should be able to theoretically move to your next movement
Right.
without it hindering you.
Yeah, you want to be able to proficiently move from movement to movement, have quick transitions. You're probably not going to be strapping in for a long row, you know. I genuinely see people doing this as a almost EMOM style workout, but hitting those micro goals.
I mean, if I'm just looking at this and taking it back, like backing up, it basically becomes a muscle up workout because I don't think there's any advantage to rowing your butt off and going hard there.
No,
And you can't do wall balls fast.
no,
Like,
you're
you can
you're
just do
limited
it.
on the wall
Like, all
balls.
you do them. You can't do them any faster. So it's about managing your muscle ups.
Yeah, and then your core is going to be taxed from rowing. How many calories are we rowing?
80.
80 calories. So
120 wall balls, 80 calories, and 40 muscle. Listen, 40 muscle ups in a workout is a lot.
especially with going up and down on that wall ball, your shoulders are going to be taxed.
Really good people, Matt's pretty good at muscle ups. Matt can probably do 30 muscle ups in 3.5 minutes, 4 minutes if he's like just doing that.
Right.
I know Jason's got really good muscle ups. Bob's got really good muscle ups.
I mean, we got a good crowd for this.
Yeah,
you
this
know,
is perfect. It's going to be interesting to see how they choose to break them up.
absolutely. It's a game of strategy for this one.
I mean, so if we're just like talking about, 6 minutes to do 40 muscle ups, 120 wall balls, if you did it straight through, is
Yeah.
about a 4-minute workout, and an 80-calorie row is about a 4-minute workout.
So what are you saying is going to be the fastest time here? Are you looking, what, 15, 16
I
minutes?
think somebody can do it in 15, 16 minutes.
Masters level?
I think so, yeah. And there's certainly going to be probably people do it faster. If you can, like, if your max set of muscle ups is 20 and you can hit 10, I mean, you just knocked off a fourth of the workout.
That's true. That's true. Going quarters there.
I don't think it's, and I will say this because we did in the Wadapalooza qualifier, and I don't remember exactly what the scheme was, but you could break the wall balls up any way you could, and the people that broke it up between 10 and 15 did much better than if you did a big set of 25.
True. Very
So
true.
I think you save yourself on that and consume, you're recovering when you're rowing.
Absolutely. So we'll let these guys get set up and we'll get rolling here soon.
Keep those questions coming. We can get this puppy going. Oh, this is going to be a fun one to watch. And everybody looks like they're kind of starting with the same idea of going with a bigger set of muscle-ups to start to kind of just knock that out. All three of these guys are really proficient at muscle-ups, so should see some pretty big sets here. Bob Jennings breaks first. I think Matt and Jason both went with 10, and they're both going on the rower here, so we'll see how that pays off later. And Bob's back on there. So I think Matt and Jason both went with 10.
What are we thinking of the rep schemes?
I think Matt and Jason both started with a set of 10 muscle-ups, and I think that's where Bob's at. Now, Bob, from what Bob has said, he's going to leave the row for last.
Really?
I don't know if he's actually going to do that, but
That's an interesting strategy. He looks like he's a standalone guy here.
I mean, he is a games athlete.
He's a games athlete. I heard he called his coach already late at night.
Yep.
You know, got a rep scheme. He did, when he was talking strategy, not have the correct calories. So he thought it was 120 calories.
Now,
So
you know what? Good for Bob. He's got a coach he can call. I bet if I called my coach, Tino Marina, he wouldn't answer right now.
Tino,
He's too busy doing
You-
a vlog.
you probably couldn't even understand him anyway. He's got marbles. So
Jason looks like he's going for 20 calories to start, and I'm guessing that's where Matt is as well. Yeah, Matt's at 20.
so about a 20-calorie split each time.
And I'm
Now, I don't know if you
surprised.
saw the score sheets or not for this, but it looks like they almost gave a recommended rep scheme on the score sheet.
Well, I think it's just an increment.
It's an increment. I think it's a very smart way to break things up if you're asking me. Maybe do 20 or 30 calories on the row, and then 30 on the wall ball
I'll
shots.
tell you what, Matt's weakest movement of the three of these is definitely the wall ball.
Why? Why so? Just the
He's just not a real strong squatter. I train with Matt a lot, and I just know it's like his least favorite movement.
Now, we need to take a note here. Bob is still on the wall ball. He has not left that wall ball.
Hey, Austin.
Of course, he puts it down right now.
Let's see where Bob's at on his reps. Okay, now it looks like Bob is going to the row.
Bob is sitting down for the row.
That may have been a change from talking to his coach and said,
Yeah.
hey, there's actually 100.
Well, and talking to Bob before on the Instagram live stream, which we are live streaming up close and personal on Instagram if anybody cares to watch over there. So he was saying to use the row as a rest, which is an interesting
for sure. I
tactic.
agree.
It's something that you can do. You can keep moving.
I don't think the row has anything to do with this actual workout. It's your muscle ups. Can you do 40?
The workout is 100% a muscle up wall ball workout, and the row is just one of those
It's just in
taxing
the middle.
things that you got to do.
Yep.
I said it already. It's almost like a Jacob Hepner junk workout where you have to do work to be able to do more work.
How many? Oh, wow.
Yeah, so Big Bob Jennings putting up some big sets here.
40 muscle ups to start?
Nope, 40 wall
40
balls,
wall balls, I'm
14 muscle ups. So looks like he's going to go back to the muscle ups and get a couple. You think he goes 14?
I think he tries to get to 20 right now.
Okay, so a little bit smaller sets. It almost looks like he's breathing heavy there, chalking heavy.
I think what you want to avoid here is like as much standing around as possible, and I also don't think you want to have too much of one thing left.
Correct,
right?
correct. You want to, I mean, if you leave all one thing to the very end, that's almost mentally taxing. You know, you're going to get burnt out. If you have small amount of reps for each movement, you can push through a lot easier.
Matt's at 16 muscle ups, so
Matt's cruising through the muscle up, sitting down for the row.
he's got 20 calories done on the row. I'm assuming he did 25-ish wall balls.
Yep.
And it looks like Jason's sticking with his 20 calories on the row, too. So So
and
Bob's
we
got 40 wall balls, and he's back at that.
and we are 4.5 minutes into this workout, so people are cruising. I think we're going to see potentially sub 17 for sure, maybe sub 16 tonight.
The problem you're going to run into is if you left yourself with about 20 muscle ups and that's it.
Yeah, you do not. I think a strategy here is you're not going to want to leave large sets of muscle ups at the very end.
Chipping away at those.
Absolutely. It's almost looking like it's turning into a wall ball workout.
And I know Jason doesn't like wall balls, but he looks
Oh,
awesome
he's a
right now.
piston over there. Down, up, down, up. I remember watching Jason last year in the Open doing the wall ball row workout, and he was a machine. Jason's pushing 40 years old.
Well, Jason is 40.
Yep. Oh, Jason is 40. Matt's what, 40?
42.
42. And Bob?
47.
47. So we got all in the 40s here, and they're moving like machines. I mean, I'm over here sitting behind the mic, 28 years old, and I'm already exhausted.
So I think Jason's at 40 wall balls, 40 calories, and I'm not sure how many muscle ups. That's Jason's 18th muscle up right there. 19. And let's see if he can get to 20. Wow. He's at 20. So I think Jason's at 40 wall balls, 40 calories on the rower, and 20 muscle ups. Matt, I think, is over 20 muscle ups. Bob somewhere around there as well. These guys are moving really well. We're at 6 minutes and 23 seconds. So not even really at the halfway mark here. Those wall balls can probably be done in bigger sets if need be. You know, the muscle ups are really where you have to kind of pick those numbers that work for you. So many long workouts in the Open this year. Bob's landing almost fully locked out. He says, forget the dip. Bob Jennings has been in Fort Wayne for roughly 8 hours, and he's been shirtless for 7 of them. So it's actually pretty impressive. Bob started his day in New Jersey, flew to Chicago, drove 3 hours from Chicago, Fort Wayne, had dinner with me, and now he's doing the Open workout. Pretty cool. Jason's at 61 calories on the rower, so he's pretty much almost made this a wall ball muscle up workout. You can tell the difference between Matt and Jason. Jason is fully catching the bottom. Matt's kind of riding his wall ball down, taking a little bit more time.
So we are pushing 8 minutes in the workout right now. Bob's looking solid on the wall balls, maintaining good form. Everybody seems to be getting a little toesy in the wall balls. Do you think that's their legs are getting sore? Or?
Yeah, they're still holding pretty big sets, though. I mean, I think the thing to keep watch on is where everybody's at on the muscle-ups. I mean, you can tell Matt's really
definitely
starting to, like, he's down to, like, 2s and 3s.
Oh, and the shirt is off.
Oh, boy.
He means business now.
But I think that's, you know, you can tell Matt's, like, really starting to kind of feel it on those.
I mean, let's be real. 40 muscle-ups is no joke.
It's a lot.
We saw, what did we see in the games? 30 muscle-ups for time, right?
Yeah.
I mean, 40 in the
30
Open.
kind of like the standard. Like, that's a big, huge number. 40 is going to be a big separator. Especially when we're talking Masters. Like,
Absolutely.
This is a big deal.
Now, can we look at Jason for a minute? He's still looking very fluid on those muscle-ups. Using that kip to get up out of the dip.
I think he's at 20. I think this is for 25. I think that's 25.
Now, Jason's a very rigid guy. He probably planned out his sets. He wants to do 5 every single time, hit a certain cal.
Yeah, I think his plan was to do 10 off the bat, which he did, and then try to hold 5s the rest of the way.
Absolutely. That's a smart plan. Get that big chunk while you're fresh because you know it's going to go down.
I really, after watching the beginning of this, I think Bob Jennings had a really smart idea, is try to do a big number on the muscle-ups and then get your biggest set of wall balls out of the way.
Absolutely.
Because you're fresh at that point, and then you can chunk away the row. I don't think that's as big a deal. If you
Absolutely.
leave 10 calories at the end,
You can pull that
it
quick.
doesn't matter how
No.
tired you are, you can crush those.
Yeah.
But you cannot do 10 muscle-ups.
No, muscle ups is a highly technical movement. You're going to have a high heart rate come minute 18, 19, 20. You don't want to be leaving a large set there. Whereas a row, you're just yanking on the chain, man. You're just pulling. Now, I did notice Bob is breathing a little heavy. It doesn't look like it's affecting him very much on his muscle ups here, but he was hands and knees breathing.
So Jason's going to be done with his row after this.
Jason is almost done with his row.
So,
We should check. Let's check on some of the other rows real quick.
yeah. I'm not. We're going to see how that strategy plays out, but Jason's roughly going to have 15 muscle ups to finish in a lot of wall balls. Jason's got 15 muscle ups left and 60 wall balls, so he may technically be in the lead right now. I'm not really sure. We're gonna get some scores. Vicky, our sideline reporter, is gonna get Matt's reps and Bob's reps and report back to us. So. So Matt's at 27 muscle-ups, so he's got 13 left. And where's he at on the wall balls? 60 wall balls in, so he's got 60 left. And, okay, so I don't think he's too concerned about the row. I bet he'll save that for the end. He's probably just going to start chipping away now. And Jim's going to give us an update on Bob.
So we have Bob with about 15, 20 cals left on his row. Jason seems to be done, and Matt seems to be trailing just by about 10 calories on the row.
And where's Bob at on his muscle-ups and wall balls?
Bob is finishing his muscle-ups here. He has about 40 wall balls left.
Wow, so he's only got a few muscle-ups left?
I believe so.
I think Matt's around less than 10 muscle-ups, but he's got about 50 wall balls left.
Yeah, he's I can definitely see where the strategy of not saving a bunch of muscle-ups to the end might pay off here. So, especially if you're a bigger individual.
He's done with his row.
Oh, wow. Jason Anderson is done with the row. He is done with the row, ladies and
I don't know
gentlemen.
how you-
And he is still moving fresh on these muscle-ups.
You could technically be in the lead. I don't really know how you judge a workout where you can split up any way you want. But.
And then Bob's back on the row.
And Jason is really fighting for those.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
Wow.
Seems every time he hops up on the ring, he's doing at least a set of 3 or 2, though. So that's a solid strategy. Why don't we go look and see how many wall balls he has left in the workout?
Yeah.
Then Matt Rogers back on the rings. You know, Matt's been really putting in training here. He just had his second child and has been putting in the hours and running his business. So you got to hand it to Matt for staying true to his training.
Looking at 8 muscle-ups and 40 wall balls left, and Jason's done with this workout.
Wow, 8 muscle-ups and 40 wall balls. And we are at 13:45, almost 14 minutes in.
So I think you're going to see him try to chunk these out.
Yeah, he just needs to stay breathing on his wall balls. I know he's a shorter individual, so wall balls might not be his strong suit, but
So we know
let's
he's
watch
got-
him go up on the
we know
rings
he's got
here.
8 muscle-ups. That's his best movement. Oops.
Let's watch these guys go up on the rings.
Matt's down to singles.
Yeah, he's getting through those rings fairly easy. Now Bob is almost all the way up on the rings every time he's
Crazy. He went
catching.
straight up. He's like, hey, forget the catch.
I'll just catch it all the
I'll
way
skip
up.
dip. I'll skip
Skip
the
the dip.
He may have just finished his.
Why don't you go check on his status? So Bobby's going to check in on everybody's status here. It looks like we might see some people at sub 18 minutes, ladies and gentlemen, sub 18. It almost looks as if everybody's done with the row. So Bob Jennings with 7 muscle-ups left. Matt now has 7 left.
That was a
He's
fight.
fighting for that.
Yeah, he's got a little bit left on the row. You know, if I'm Matt Rogers right now, I may just hit my row and relax a little bit and recover.
Yeah. Yeah, spend some time recovery row.
Jason's got to be almost done.
You know, that's almost what I think Bob has been doing very well, is using that row as a recovery. How many wall balls did Bob have left?
No, I'm not sure. He might have been down to 20.
20 wall balls, and he's almost done with
He
his
may have
muscle-ups, yeah?
finished his, yeah.
So it looks like a bottleneck race here between Mr. Anderson and
really
Jennings.
I
I mean, I
think-
already said we're going to see somebody sub 18.
Yeah, and I think Matt is probably questioning how he broke some of the reps up because these are pretty good movements for him. And to
Well,
see, to
let's
see
be
him
real,
on a
though.
single, so.
Let's be real, though. He also just had a kid, you know?
Yeah, and
you know?
listen, hey, Matt's got a broken toe right now, too.
Yeah. Which is not fun to drop down from the rings on that. And Bob finishing up part of his row, again looking like he's using it as recovery. Ladies and gentlemen, these people are all over the age of 40 years old. I am thoroughly impressed.
Hey, go see where he's at. 4 muscle-ups and 10 wall balls, and he's done.
Four muscle-ups and
10 wall balls, and he's done.
wow. Jason Anderson is cruising through this workout.
Hey, will you go see where Bob is? He's got to be almost done. And it's crazy. Jason is catching these wall balls on his toes. I'm going to tell you right now, tomorrow his quads are going to be sore.
Yes. Jason will not be doing any squatting for the next 2 days.
So
And here's
and that's it. He's done.
and Mr. Jennings only has 7 muscle-ups to complete this workout.
I think Jason just has 4.
It is going to come down to these muscle-ups right here. Jason and Bob, 7 and 4. They both look up at the rings. Jason's up. Bob is up. Matt is back to the row.
Jason's got 1 more muscle up, and I think he's done. I think he's got 1 left.
Jason has 1 left.
I don't know if he has any wall balls, but
Mr. Bob is almost there. Mr. Bob is almost there. And Jason Anderson is done at
Jason Anderson
17-18.
pretty impressive performance from him. I think he split that up really well.
Yeah, I mean, he is the man with the plan throughout this entire Open.
Well, it's funny because he was asking me what to do before he started. So, I mean, okay, and anybody that's listening at home, here's what I told Jason to do. I said I thought he should do his biggest set of muscle-ups that he felt comfortable without failing, and also his biggest set of wall balls he felt comfortable with without falling apart. And then the row, his plan was to do 20 calories each time and just be done with it. So. Bob Jennings has 1 muscle-up left. Oh, Bob's got 1 left and failed it. Now, traditional wisdom in CrossFit is going to tell you, you fail a muscle-up, you need 30 to
That is-
45 seconds to recover.
I mean, that's the first failed muscle-up that we've seen all day, if you think about it.
I mean, here's what happened.
However, here's the thing, though.
He
It's the end of the
left
workout.
He left 7 at the end, and, Jason only left 4,
4.
which was much more manageable.
For a highly technical movement.
Okay. Bob's done around 18:34.
Now, there is a Masters athlete, Chris Brown at the Legends competition said something. A failed rep is just as much energy as a made rep.
Yep. And actually, man, when you're talking about a muscle up, I'm telling you, like, that was impressive. He was able to recover, but
Yeah.
he probably lost 15 to 30 seconds on that.
Absolutely, absolutely. Still, very impressive performances here tonight.
Yeah, I mean, hey guys, like,
We
finishing
have
this workout
1 minute left.
is impressive.
Yes, 1 minute left. 2 athletes are done.
Hey Vic, what's he got left?
Mr. Rogers with less than a minute to go. Still looking fresh on those muscle ups. Very big kip. Oh, he's taking a strategy, switching to
He's got
singles.
1 more and 10. Let's go, Matt. Come on. I think this is his last muscle up.
Oh, keep that dip. Ah,
Do the wall balls. Come on, Matt.
30 seconds left in this workout.
Hey, that is definitely as much work as that failed
As
rep.
a failed rep. Yeah. Now here's the beauty of this sport. We have 2 finished athletes that are still standing around cheering on a fellow athlete.
Yeah, 3. I think he's going to have time. He's got to go, though.
No, we got about 5 seconds left in this workout.
Matt, one more, go! Buzzer beater.
Nope.
Wow. Hey,
20 minutes in. 20 minutes
pause
in.
for a second. We're going to let them catch their breath. We're going to do a little wrap-up, cool-down show, get their thoughts on strategy.
Absolutely, absolutely. We'll
give
be
us a
right
few
back
minutes, we'll
with
be right
some strategy thoughts and seeing how much this workout sucked.
we're gonna. Well, okay. I'll sit. We'll start with Jason, who won the workout. I think it's seven. What was your time? 17:38. Put the you got
17:38.
And can you tell everybody your strategy and if did you like it and if you change anything?
I think it was pretty solid. I would do it the same way again. I did a large set of muscle ups in the beginning, like you suggested, since I would be fresh.
What was that number?
10.
Okay.
And then I did every round after that. I did 5 or whatever I could get until the end.
Were you like going to the point where you were at failure, or like were you one or two
No,
reps from failure?
The last few rounds I got back to it. Yeah, I was close to failure.
Okay.
But in the beginning, no. I didn't want to get to that point though, or that early in the workout.
And then you stuck in. You did 20 calories on the row every time.
Yep, every
and
time.
Was that? Did you go muscle up, wall ball, row?
Muscle up, row, wall ball.
Okay.
And then I did 20 every time on that, and then I tried to hold 20 on the wall ball as well every round till the end.
Awesome. Bob, you had a very different strategy.
Yeah.
What was your strategy going in?
So my strategy going in was, chew up some muscle ups in the beginning. So kind of same. And I think I went like 8 and 6 or something. I wanted to go 8 and 8, but it just wasn't feeling it. So I went 8 and 6. And then from there, I think these guys all went to the row, right? Yeah. And so I went to the wall.
Which I have to say, from watching an open workout, it was so strange to not see everybody doing
the same
thing.
Yeah.
I was like, and we're like, what is going on? But cool.
Yeah, for sure. So I decided to chew up a big bunch of wall balls in the beginning of the workout also. So I think I went 20 and 20. And then the next time I came
back.
Like
as a set, like you did 20 pause and then
20
did 20
pause
again.
and then 20 again, right? So I was at 40. Okay. Then, then I did like only a 15 cal row. And then went back to the muscle ups, chewed up a little bit more. The sets weren't huge there. And then another like couple of big sets of wall balls. And I think that was a mistake.
Yeah. Okay.
So wall balls, rowing, you can save those, right? You're never going to no rep typically, right?
You're not going to fail a rep.
You're not going to fail, right? And so I got to a point where I had done like, almost 100 wall balls and still had like 15 muscle ups left, right? And that ratio needed to be reversed, right?
I thought like where Jason ended up, he had like 4 and you were at 7 or 8.
Yeah.
And in my mind, I thought, man, Jason did that perfect. And Bob probably missed one set of like, could have done, set of 2 or 3 or something before.
Yeah, I would have, like, if I were to do it again, I would keep the first set of muscle ups the same, right? Do like, chew up anywhere from like 10 to 20.
Because
right?
that's the only time you're fresh.
The only time you're fresh, yeah. So I probably should have stayed on probably would have stayed on the rings one more set.
Okay.
Got to 20, then done smaller sets.
And you're saying, like, for everyone watching home, even if it's you do 4 sets of 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, chew up a big bunch of wall balls.
Because
muscle-ups.
regardless, you have to do the reps, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so.
Yeah, get them done, right?
Yeah.
So stay on the rings as long as possible if you think you're going to finish the workout.
Yeah.
Because if you don't think you're going to finish the workout, then I would change it completely.
Yeah.
Get everything else done first.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, get your tie break time, and then whatever you can grab for muscle ups, you grab them.
Cool.
Yeah.
Matt, who just had his second kid a couple days ago.
9 days old.
It has a broken toe, actually.
Yeah, broken toe and whatever.
It hasn't been able to train too much. 1 rep shy.
239 reps, I think. It was 240 was the total.
And, I train with Matt a lot, and, rowing is great for you, and muscle-ups are normally pretty solid. Wall ball is probably one of your worst movements.
It does beat me up.
So for those people that are proficient at the 2 things you are, but not as at wall balls, like, looking back, how would you change it up?
I think where I messed up, my plan going in was I started on the muscle-ups, did a big set like these guys.
You did 10?
I did 8, actually.
8, okay.
I contemplated holding on for 10. I should have. Where I think I made a mistake is I came down, went and did wall balls. Then I think I did 30 to start. Came back, did muscle ups again, and then went back to the row. Where I think, and that would have been fine maybe for 2 rounds at most. I think would have more beneficial. So basically, I was doing a set of muscle ups in between each movement. So if you could think of it in a round, I did row, muscle up, wall ball, muscle up, row, muscle up, wall ball, muscle up. Yeah. And it started to break down. Probably by the time I was about at 20, I was only holding sets of 3. By the time I hit right around 40, I was doing sets of 2, and in the round of 40, I missed actually 2. I got the muscle up and did not get the dip. So I think, in hindsight, even with the wall balls, I should have held on a little longer on the wall balls. Row felt fine. Never really bothered me. It just became a time constraint at the end.
Do any of you think this is a row workout, or is it just?
No.
Like, if anything, I was my original plan on the row was to go like sets of 20, and I took it down to 15 because at first I thought the row and wall ball were reversed. I thought it was 120 on the row and 80 on the wall ball, and so I brought it down to 15 cal, and like used it as rest.
Yeah, I would. I think I would do that too. I set it up as sets of 20. I think I'd back it off to 15. Not that the 20 bothered me, but that you gained a little time there. Chew up a little more wall balls. Give yourself a little more rest. Try to really, if you're going to go for a muscle up, get them. But yeah, that's the
me.
workout.
To me, this was a workout where you had to be comfortable with your rep scheme, and not go. Don't redline. Maybe stop between 1 and 2 reps before you're gonna fail, right? And you kind of have constant movement. And I thought you guys did a really good job of managing that. Towards the end, I think it's just survival mode, right? You're just kind of chipping away. But for the most part, you guys did a good job moving. So I'm gonna ask Bob. Oh yeah, okay, yeah. Let's go to the Graham.
So somebody on Instagram's asking if you should knock out big sets of calories in the beginning. Is that something that's smart to do?
No, not at all. It's not worth your time.
I'd say if anything, try and finish it and do them at the end, like you
Yeah.
originally thought about. I don't know if that's. I said if you can, maybe save them for the end.
The question was, should you do a big set of row to start? And my answer is definitely not. The row doesn't even come into play in this workout.
I felt more recovered after the wall balls than so when I went from row to muscle ups, that was more difficult than from wall balls to muscle ups. You can recover on the wall balls and get back to muscle ups easier. You're still pulling. So
I think the row kind of helps you reset a little bit personally. So I would just use it to stay consistent.
Yeah.
And the other question is about transitions. What's a good game plan for transitions?
So what's a good game plan for transitions? Yeah, it depends on your proficiency in the movements, but I would say don't do what I did. This is the type of workout where you want to constantly be getting reps or points, right? So like there should be no wasted movement. There should be no like sitting there with your hands on your knees. If you're doing that, you transitioned wrong. Like you should be going from one movement right to the next and just be doing smaller sets and moving the whole time.
I originally thought in the beginning I was going to do 8 sets. If I did this again, I might try something. I don't know if I'd go for a full 8 sets, but I might do something that splits those up, like you said, in smaller parts. But you need the recovery to get back to the muscle ups unless you're super proficient. That's really that's what's gonna get you.
I mean, I agree. Yeah. I don't have anything to add.
You wouldn't change anything.
No, I mean, this is a guy that did 17.
Yeah.
I had a few moments where I was, hands on the knees, breathing a little hard, and didn't manage my heart rate very well. But I think the game plan was fine. I just kind of pushed a little too hard through some of it. But
do we have any more Instagram questions? Bob, I had a question for you.
Yeah.
You're sitting pretty, in the top 200.
Yep.
You're a games athlete last year.
I didn't know that.
45 to 49 division.
I wonder who told you that.
Is your goal to make it back to the games this year?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I've treated the Open with the change in the schedule is kind of messed up, right? So coming out of the games, you're mentally exhausted, you're physically exhausted, like you want a break.
Yeah.
And we definitely didn't get it this year. But what's nice is the Masters qualifier isn't until March. So I've been using this more as like, just a regular training session. Mm-hmm. Everything's been one and done. I had a fantastic wheelhouse workout last week, which like really kind of helped just like solidify everything.
Yeah.
And so now I'm just focused on getting ready for March, and I'm going to train my ass off and try and make it back.
And we've been talking about the games change.
Yep.
There's the smaller field, less coverage. Did you feel exposed in any way at the games this year? Was there something like where you're like, man, I really have to work on that? Because you're a strong guy, especially you can move well gymnastically especially for your age group. Is there anything like after the games finish, you're like, I'm going back to the drawing board on this?
Yeah, for sure. So I believe it or not, I'm one of the bigger guys that made it to the games, and I'm not by any stretch of the imagination what I would consider big, right? I'm 5'11", 190 pounds, so like that's not big, right?
It's pretty big.
Well, most of the guys at the games last year were like 5'7", 5'8", right? Still about 180, 85 pounds, but they're all rabbits, man. And like the programming has shifted in a big way where it's all about aerobic capacity, and strength-based athletes like myself, we get exposed badly. So, you know, at one point last year, after I'd been getting my ass kicked for the whole first day, my coach, who's like, you know, fantastic with strategy, really good at motivation, he actually said to me, his advice to me on day 2 was stop coming in last. Right, and so it was like, okay, you know, like there wasn't anything he could do from a coaching perspective to change the fact that like I wasn't prepared to chase down like fucking little guys all day, right? And so I'm gonna work my ass off with all my accessory stuff is gonna basically be aerobic capacity based.
Cool.
And if I don't make it, I don't make it.
I think that
Yeah.
was your maybe original plan. Right?
Original plan, my original plan. So the question was, what about saving the row for the end? And my original plan was, when I thought it was 120 cal on the row, was to like bang out everything, the wall balls and the muscle ups, and like save like 60 or 80 calories on the row for the end.
Hammer in, like,
Because you
3
just
minutes or
hammer
something.
away on that, right? You know, and you know, when I found out that the numbers were reversed and it was 120 wall balls and 80 calories on the row, like it just kind of threw me for a loop, and I tried to adjust off of that and didn't really do it well. I would strongly consider that, right? Get as many muscle ups as you can early. Comfortably move on the wall balls because they do start to fatigue you, especially on the muscle ups. I mean, that's why I felt it was on my shoulders, and also like my hip flexors. I didn't really have a lot of pop, and then, you know, try and save as much of the row for the end.
Makes sense. I'm going to ask Matt here. You know, now that the Open's over, and you know you had a kid, so you did a few of the workouts. You know, you were a competitive soccer player. You know, always kind of been a competitive athlete. What's next for you, kind of in the athletic space? Like, you know, you have competitions coming up. Like anything that you're thinking about doing?
You know, just life. Just, you know, with the children now, that's my main goal. But to spend time working on strength for me. I'm 43, 2 years out from 45. My best finish ever was when I was 40. I was missed regionals by about 50 spots that year, and I really want to concentrate on building my strength. I think my engine's good. Want to do competitions. I'm super excited to be part of the Masters Fitness Collective. I think it's a
He's the
great
first person
thing.
signed up for the Legends Comp.
I mean, it's you know, it's something. It's got me excited. I've done some local competitions. I've done some stuff with you, you know, and it's very fun to compete against people around here. But it's even more enjoyable to compete against people of your own age and ability, and to really, you know, it's just it's kind of refueled me in CrossFit. You know, with so much other things going on in my life and family and stuff like that, and you know, because we both, in fact, all 3 of us started CrossFit at the same year. And so I mean, you know, life ebbs and flows, but it's nice to get this new boost, and I'm real excited for the 45.
Cool. And Jason, you know, you've been picking it up, I think, you know, on the competitive scene here lately, and you know, what's next up for you?
Just to keep pushing, just keep getting better. I didn't start CrossFit till 2014. I didn't really take it serious till maybe a year and a half ago, 2 years. I've really been trying to push and get better at things I'm terrible at.
Well, it's
So,
been pretty cool. You know, I've got to train with you a little bit in the
Yep.
last year, and nice progression. And I think, you know, the 3 of us probably are strength deficient, and you
I
know,
am for
working on it
sure.
together.
Last week was a nightmare for me.
Yeah. So
So But I got through it.
one last thing to wrap up with Bob. We've got we're doing the Sanctional in Argentina.
Yep.
Masters Fitness Collective. Jim's actually going to be down there too. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to put up with Jim for 4 or 5 days. It's going to be tough. I'm not going to lie.
Well, we can always leave them down there.
Yeah.
So
We figure Eamon will probably keep him in line.
yeah.
So it would be myself, Bob, Jamie Free, Eamon Coyne. We won Heath Moody actually was on our team. We won the qualifier. So we're pretty excited to go down there and represent Masters Fitness Collective, compete, meet some people in Argentina. So anybody that's watching this, when you see us down there, we're all heading down, I think, a day early.
Yep.
So if you see us, please come up and say hi. Jim's actually going to film everything. We're going to document it. And then I certainly want to give a plug to the Legends competition, which I had the honor of qualifying and competing for in Carlsbad. It was in September. It was a 3-day comp. You know, I think the goal is to become the premier
Yep.
Masters competition. And this year, where's the venue moving to?
So this year we're actually going to move it down to the Del Mar Fairgrounds. So that's where the California Regional and the West Regional used to be. We used to host it in our gym, and it just got too big, which is great. That's exactly where we wanted it to get to. But qualifiers are going to be starting up in May. So it's middle of May until the beginning of June, 3-week qualifier. And then the championships are going to be in September, starting on the 11th. I think it's the 11th, 12th, and 13th. Right now we're kicking around the idea, unofficial right now, but actually doing a sanctioned Oli event on the 10th, which would be really cool. It would be in the fairgrounds as well. So anybody that qualifies would automatically be entered into it. And then anybody else that just wants to do a sanctioned Oli event, maybe have a chance to qualify for nationals, they'd be able to do it there.
Any changes this year? You think about adding any team divisions or any other Masters divisions?
So we are going to add a 65-plus division. Might add a 30 to 34. We're still kind of toying around with that.
I'd love to get thoughts from everybody watching this at home, because from when I start talking about a 30 to 34 division, people are in that gap now where they're like, they've become the forgotten, you're waiting till you turn 35.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and it's the next generation of Masters, right? And so we need to be cultivating them and bringing them along and supporting them as well. Won't do team simply because logistically it's just it's a little too difficult to manage all that. Yeah. And quite frankly, we need the volunteers. It's really difficult, really expensive to run a competition without volunteers. As I told everybody at Legends last year, I went into my own pocket on it, right? But it was worth it because the competition was great. But I'm not looking to make this like a cash drain every year. So
right. And I think what we talked about, we're gonna do a Legends competition here in Fort Wayne, Indiana, in May. And the first day is going to be individual. The second day is going to be a team event. I know there's talks of one out on the East Coast and potentially one down south at some point. So if you're a Masters athlete and you're looking to compete, certainly sign up for the qualifier. The programming was beautiful this year. We had a ton of fun. I'm with your group's the Hens. Our group is Protein, and we had a blast doing it. So really looking forward to that. I want to thank you guys for your coming in and throwing down, and Bob for coming all the way from California.
Awesome.
So thanks for everybody watching, and we'll be back soon.
Peace out.
Thanks, guys.
Great work, man.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, it was fun.